It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so we know it's a new year, but it's not always fun and games. It doesn't always come with the greatest news, and it's unfortunate to report because I did hear about the story recently, and I'm talking about it now. Kazuki Anaguchi, you know, Japanese warrior, really fun fighter to watch. He just put on one of the most exciting fights I've seen ever. Like, and I really mean that. Like, his fight against Tsutsumi as the co-main event to Naya Inoue versus Marlon Tapales. It's one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. It was a great fight, one of the all-time great fights in boxing, right? And he had a tough night at the office. You know, boxed very well. Showed some great boxing skills out that southpaw stance. A lot of athleticism out that southpaw stance, but he just couldn't withstand the onslaught and the durability and the pressure that Tsutsumi brought his way. So he got dropped, what was it, I think 3 or 4 times. And he wound up losing a very competitive fight, but he made a fan out of me in watching the fight. Well, as that fight ended, if you watch that fight, Tsutsumi could barely stand. He just didn't look right when he left that boxing ring. And it's unfortunate to report that Tsutsumi has, not only did he lose that fight, not only did he look like crazy after he left the ring that night, but he has been unconscious since December 26th. And, you know, there is grave concern for his health as, you know, he had to get a hematoma removed from the right side of his brain. And he hasn't awoken yet, so it's definitely sent the entire boxing world into a downward spiral as far as emotions. My thoughts, my prayers, and everything positive in me just goes out to his family and anyone affected by it, because those two fought, Tsutsumi and Kazuki Anaguchi. They fought as part of this tournament that Naya Inoue was putting on, where they used his name and the winner got X amount of dollars or whatever. And, you know, Inoue is actually a good friend of Kazuki Anaguchi, and he had expressed, you know, the fact that he was a little disheartened by the news. He said the following, and I quote, "We sincerely pray for Anaguchi's recovery." So, look, man, he's only had 7 pro fights. He's 6-1 with 2 KOs, but, you know, definitely battle tested. Definitely someone that doesn't fight like a guy who has 7 fights. But this is the other side of boxing that we don't talk about. You know, this is where, you know, sometimes these defensive fighters do have a point. They do have a point, because, you know, you could watch a fight and look at how hellacious it is, and it's fun for us, the fans, to watch. But the fighters, they go through a lot of punishment. And remember, this is the fight night. What you guys see on TV, that's the crescendo, that's the peak, that's the apex of a fighter's, you know, preparation. You know, mind you, before you see them in the ring, they've already had 8 weeks of camp and training, conditioning, and recovery, and so that's why boxing is such a tough, grueling, arduous sport. Which is why I don't really have time for anybody who calls any fighter a bum, because anybody who's willing to put themselves through that for the little bit of money that you make in the sport of boxing, they definitely deserve my respect, right? So Anaguchi is in the emergency room. He had to get a craniotomy. I can't even say the word, the technical term, but a craniotomy. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm gonna assume it has something to do with the brain. So that's not good. They had to remove a hematoma from the right side of his brain. And I know what that is. That's not anything to play with. And look, man, I just hope he's okay. Forget boxing. I mean, he may never box again. And truth be told, when I watched him walk out that ring, obviously I was optimistic that he could continue his boxing career. Maybe one day we can get the rematch between him and Tsutsumi, because it was that damn good. But right now, it would just be nice to see the brother survive and get to live his life and be somewhat functional with his family, because he took a beating that night. And I knew for a fact he left a big piece of himself in that ring. And, you know, in the Japanese culture, death before dishonor is a very, very big thing. I know the movie said that too, and whatnot, but if there was ever a death before dishonor, and ironically, I didn't know that this was all going to happen, so I didn't mean to title my last video like this, but I titled my last post-fight review video, I think it was like Seiya Tsutsumi wins Death Before Dishonor Classic Japanese War versus Anaguchi or something like that. But now he might actually die, which I'm not too thrilled about. So it's unfortunate. Hopefully he's okay. And on the video on this note, if this guy, which it sounds like he was somewhat close to the monster, Naoya Inoue, if he was any close to it, if he meant anything to the monster Inoue is probably going to fight Casemiro, who he's got a rivalry with next, or someone like that, you know, or maybe a Merjon, right? Whoever he fights next, may God have mercy on their soul, because I'm sure he's going to take this news and channel it into a really, really dominant performance in his next fight. So we'll definitely see how it goes. I'll definitely be following this story. But again, anybody who's Japanese who understands English, they want to translate this to his family or anybody related to Anaguchi. May God rest his soul. Not rest his soul. He's not dead, but may God be with him, I should say. May God cover him at this time, and hopefully he pulls through. And I just want to know, like, if this brother never boxes again, I want him to know, and I want the people out there in the world that watch this video, and the Japanese boxing fans and the boxing fans all around the world, I want them to know that this man exemplifies everything it means to be a warrior of this sport. And I just hope that he pulls through and he can live a nice, functional life with his family. And that's what it's going to be. So, yeah, shout out to Kazuki Anaguchi for putting on a great fight. And we're praying for you, champ. And hopefully Seiya Tsutsumi doesn't get too... I know he's going to be affected by it, but hopefully, you know, someone comforts him too, because sometimes when you're the fighter that delivered the beating and you alter a man's life, that could affect the fighter on the other end too, but people don't often think about that. So we'll see how it goes. But hopefully God comforts them both and things just work out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.